Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to talk about martial striking drills using weapons. We're going to start talking about objective-based martial movement training. This is separate from martial arts training. Think of this more as like an engineering equation for the things you want to accomplish when it comes to this stuff. I do a lot of work with movies, so I do a lot of stuff teaching people how to move with sticks and weapons in a common way so that you can do it the basics first so you can do all the fancy stuff later. Side effect of this is this actually lines up with my martial training philosophy. I had a traditional martial arts experience for many, many years, Aikijutsu, judo flips, all that stuff, throwing people jujitsu, then Krav Maga, also years and years and years of Shaolin. And what I learned after doing almost all of that is that I really wasn't good at hitting things. We did a lot of forms and we did a lot of stuff that looked really cool, but we didn't really hit things or really block things in an unchoreographed manner. As with everything I do, I decided to engineer the outcome and work on the most important things first. The most important thing first is learning to block with various types of weapons in your hands. The weapons that you use for this are pretty important. This is a Cold Steel training staff. I don't know if you can see that or not. Cold Steel training staff. We moved to these after we started really hitting things with stuff because wooden staffs tend to be super cheap and not very good unless you can find like an actual oak hardwood staff, but they cost a ton of money, and even those will break when you subject them to thousands upon thousands upon thousands of strikes and or blocks, especially against metal weapons. Cold Steel training staff, this is a 5'1". I hope that they start to make more of these in 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet, a 6 foot, and probably even a 7 foot one. This one here is, I believe, I don't know, I'm 6 feet tall. What's that, 4.5, 5 feet? It's not super long, it's not super short. It has a classic octagonal shape, which was a way that they used to make weapons a long time ago because they would make a beam and they would shave it down, and then you got octagons. The other thing that we like to use is the Brooklyn Crusher or the Brooklyn Smasher, various lengths of the Cold Steel baseball bat. Once again, injection molded plastic. You cannot hurt these, even if you swing real sharp machetes into them thousands upon thousands and thousands of times. Eventually the machetes break. The other thing we're going to start talking about is actual machete stuff. So I spent years doing Shaolin martial arts. Shaolin martial arts uses something called a willow leaf broadsword. A willow leaf broadsword is a peasant's big knife. If you were to actually say the words in Chinese, that's what it means, the Dao, the big knife, right? Various types of Daos. We just stick with the most common ones that are still used for actual fighting on the planet, machetes. You can find videos all over the internet of people actually still fighting everywhere in the world with machetes. So we do all of our training with these basic things first. We start with attack defend drills. That starts with defend drills where you learn to actually defend. This idea I stole somewhere between capoeira guys who do lots of movement in defensive drills and Krav Maga guys. Krav Maga guys do this thing called outside 90 360 drills. 360 drills means that they swing from every direction in an unchoreographed way, and you learn how to block with your arms and all these various different types of ways against people who are trying to hit you. And then you add people who try to hit you, and you learn to block and move and do all these things against real things. I tend not to teach it that way because if you're training a model or an actress or an actor or just somebody without a lot of training, training people to do bone-on-bone blocks is really hard. Shaolin martial arts do things called body hardening, which is similar to like what Thai boxers do, where they strengthen their shins by creating microfractures over time. We don't start with that because it takes a long time and everybody quits if you start doing bone-on-bone blocking drills on day one. Nobody wants to do that. So what do? We do the exact opposite of what traditional martial arts does. In traditional martial arts, you might get to weapons if you're lucky at year 5, and you might actually learn to use them at year 10, but for the most part, you're not going to learn. So we have gone back and we do it the opposite way. We train all of our weapons first, starting with blocking drills, blocking any way against any weapon. That means staff against staff, staff against machete, machete against machete, baseball bat against staff, staff against baseball bat, machete versus machete. I don't know, there's more. Line all of those things up in all of the ways and then start making multiple machetes, machete in the left, machete in the right, long machete, short machete, and start doing attack defend drills this way. So we're gonna start talking about these drills as just an idea. I do not recommend anybody do these drills, especially the machete versions of these drills, without serious supervision. But we are gonna start talking about staff and baseball bat drills, and then combining blocking drills with movement drills to hit targets with things. This is something that everybody thinks they know how to do. Everybody thinks that they know how to hit things with weapons. And in my experience, that's almost a complete lie, even amongst martial artists. People who've been doing martial arts for years have never actually spent a lot of time hitting things as hard as possible. And when they do, they instantly figure out that their hands are gonna hurt, their grip hurts, they get rub marks, they drop weapons when they hit things really hard. So we're gonna start talking about these whole things as design considerations, mostly because it's fun. And I think that it's very beneficial for everybody in the world to have a basic understanding of the most important thing, not getting hit and using weapons. Weapons are force multipliers. That's why we use them. When we train and we use heavy clubs, we are mimicking the movement patterns associated with using levers to hit things. Levers allow a smaller framed person to hit even harder. The length and the weight of the lever determines how hard you can hit, but hitting things is a lot harder than people think it is, and you have to learn to line your body up behind it. We're gonna start taking our club drills, and we're gonna start showing you the actual application of lever swinging for violence with defense first, moving into offense and what we eventually call the Walking Dead drills or zombie kill drills. And we're gonna do it all because it's fun and it's a great engineering experiment for the mind and for the body.